Welcome to Education for All podcast, where we explore education challenges and innovations across Africa. I'm Nitana Liro. I am the founder of Education for All, which was an initiative that I started in July 2023 to make language accessible to everyone. Today's podcast episode is about teacher training in Africa. Our guest speaker today is Netsanet Medles. Say hi.
Hi, Netanya. Hi, Education for All members and communities.
Hi, thank you so much for committing to this. I'm so happy to have you. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Netsanet. So Netsanet, I've known Netsanet for about 6 months now. I've met her through her community. It's called Let's Talk About Education. She works on teaching teachers, for example. She have taught over two public school teachers on how to teach, and she's given teacher trainings to those people. She's also done so many things with her initiative. She has over 1,000 subscribers on all platforms. She also has over 8,000 followers on LinkedIn as well. And she also has other programs such as Kabit Wadahagar, which is an initiative that mostly teaches parents and other people on how kids impact the nation or other people they face. So thank you so much for dedicating your time.
Thank you so much for having me, Netanya. It's truly an honor to be part of your journey, especially on this podcast, because I'm always, as always, I told you, I'm proud of what you are doing right now. Even proud to see such young, inspirational high school students doing a fantastic job in education sector, where everyone is doing its own benefit or for its own purpose. So what you are doing is truly amazing, and it's hope in the future. Thank you. Keep shining. Your works. You're really doing a hard work, and it will make a real impact in the future. So I'm blessed to be here. I'm blessed to know you, Netanya.
Thank you so much, Nancy. The words are so motivating. I'm so glad to have you. So I'm going to be continuing with the podcast for today. As I've said before, the topic is going to be teacher training. Netsanet is from Ethiopia, and she will share her impacts that she have done in Ethiopia and also what her insights are for Africa and for the world as well. But we're mostly going to be focusing in Africa. So tell us about yourself and what led you to work on education.
You told them about what I did on Let's Talk About Education and Kabit with the Hagar, or from home to nation. So let me tell you a detail of what my projects are and what I'm doing right now. So I'm a founder and general manager of Zerzari, which means planting the seed. Zerzari is an Amharic form of planting the seed. So we specialize in school consultation, focusing on delivering the 21st century life skill course for students starting from KG to university level, based on their different levels of students. And also we are trying to integrate parents and teachers into the program to support the students while learning. We also work on consultation, focusing on organization and program development. In addition to that, I'm also, as you say, the founder and organizer of Let's Talk About Education, the Telegram platform, where we have weekly discussions about education on both challenges and opportunities. It held every Friday evening in Amharic. We are currently in the first season. We identified there is a gap in teachers' quality. As a result, we organized teachers training for two schools, one local NGO and one government or public school. So there are volunteers in the community from different sectors and from different expertise. Like there might be Professor Alamaya, Dr. Dr. Fayisa, and so on. People were volunteers. More than 60 teachers were volunteers to deliver the program. In the second season, we discovered that there was a gap in school club activities. So we started collaborating with other educational consultancy companies and also language schools to create those school clubs activities, like Toastmasters for students and also to support students. In addition, in the second season, we also saw the gap that entrepreneurs are not supported by the system, by the stakeholders in the ecosystem. So we give free consulting service for them. Now we are on third season. Hope we will find something to work on it. And as you said, I'm also, it's a bit long. What I did in education is a bit long. I hope you take some patience. So I'm a co-founder and initiative leader of Kabit Wede Hager, which means From Home to Nation movement. It's a social movement to empower families. So the project currently working on Telegram channel. Since most Ethiopians use Telegram channel, we always go back to what is accessible to the community, what is the easy way to deliver the program. So we invite experts on different topics like what is being parent, what are the roles of parenting, what does being man means or woman means, what does being parent, husband, wife means. So we discuss different topics on nutrition and so on the program. So while we are doing these things, we believe that when we empower families, we can strengthen the education system, we can solve other social issues, we can provide access to quality education, as well as since most schools focus on academic education, we can empower families to deliver soft skills for their children, to make them leaders, to make them independent, critical thinker, problem solvers. So we do this in From Home to Nation. Finally, I'm a volunteer project manager at Sarah Center, Sarah Kanizaro Child Minders Association. I'm a project manager there and also volunteer organizer. In the past 8 months, we have been doing renovation and extracurricular classes for the students. It was really a blessing work what we did there. So everything we do is voluntary except on Zarzari Educational Solutions. This is all about my journey. It's been a long process, and since it is my deep passion to improve the quality of education, to support teachers, to empower families, to empower kids, and make a change. So this is all about what I do.
I'm so impressed by all the things that you've done, especially you involving about 60 teachers to train other teachers who are starting their journey in teaching is quite a change maker, and I don't know how to describe it, but you are doing such a great job in the change making process, and I'm sure a lot of people, a lot of teachers will benefit from you. Not only teachers, I myself, I'm a student and I'm also a teacher, so I have definitely benefited a lot. Especially I am a volunteer at Let's Talk About Education. I am her social media assistant, and I've learned a lot, honestly, and especially having you by my side is one of the things that helped me, I would say.
Yeah, it's a blessing to have you in our community as well. You're doing a fantastic job. Keep shining.
Thank you. Let's dive into the second question. So can you share us any experience that you have had in teacher training and its importance in improving education? What does teacher training mean to you?
So teachers are the mother profession for every profession, right? So empowering teachers or focusing on training for teachers, as I believe, is the heart of the education system. When we increase their skills, knowledge, and passion, they can directly impact on the quality of the education those students receive. So throughout my journey, I've been involved in several teachers training initiatives, both through my organization Zarzari and as well as Let's Talk About Education. For example, last time when we delivered training for teachers on the schools, those two schools, through Let's Talk About Education community platform. The significant gap we identified was teachers are very passionate in making a difference. Most teachers have those passion, but they lack the specific skills and training needed to address the challenge of modern classrooms. So when things are changing and the world is very dynamic, right? It changes time to time. So we have to make them to understand what are those changes and how can they can create an engaging, more connecting environment with their students at school. So in response, as you said, and as I said earlier, we have organized teachers, volunteer experts from abroad as well as from Ethiopia. There were volunteer diaspora communities from abroad. We organized volunteers from diaspora community as well as from university experts, consultants. So they deliver training on the skills to adapt new teachers' method on technology, on diverse student needs. So the training program helps the teachers to motivate and connect it to new ideas as well as approach that can benefit their students as well. So the impact of this training is very significant. We've been checking on them till now. They have support groups, a peer-to-peer support group, and also those well-trained teachers create more engaging and inclusive learning environment so that students get more comfortable to go to school. What is lost is students have no passion to go to school nowadays. So we saw those students running to school to meet their teachers. So this is a great benefit we saw from the teachers training program. And also, while they are better equipped to identify and address learning challenges, they can support students, right? So they can support emotionally, they can support socially, as well as academically. So creating those positive classroom cultures create more students to participate in different engagements, different school clubs, as well as different volunteer initiatives. So throughout this experience, we also make sure that teachers can be empowered economically, because most teachers get paid low, so they get discouraged to teach. They lack motivation because of low wage. So what we do is to empower them to deliver, to empower them to explore different opportunities while they are delivering or doing what they love as teaching. So this was what we do in teachers training program.
It's sometimes seen that when you have good teachers, but they cannot teach it well because they know the material, they know how everything is done, but when it comes to teaching, they're not good at it. So this is where teacher training comes in. But as you know, just because a teacher is trained doesn't mean that they will definitely help a student in their learning style. There are different learning styles that students adapt to, and especially also other problems that you have mentioned, such as empowering teachers financially. Their mind is not in another place. They can think of teaching when they are teaching because they don't have other problems concerning them. So it's really on point. I would next move on my third question. So what innovative approaches have you introduced or seen in teacher development to inspire and engage your students effectively? And can you also add some successful stories that you had along the way?
Sure. So what we do is to deliver, what we planned initially was to deliver more of a practical, engaging, hands-on experiences with the students as well. So mostly the training for teachers is on pedagogy or on more of theoretical aspects of teaching. So we provide a practical student-centered training. Those trainings like, for example, project-based learning, group activities, active group discussion programs, and also to experiment both the traditional lecture method teaching as well as the new methods that they were taught at the program. So it's more of a practical. They practice with the students. They practice with each other on peer learning. So this was the first thing that we did. The second one is we integrated 21st century life skill course. As I told you, I delivered a 21st century life skill course for students from KG to grade 12 based on their level, based on their culture, and so on. So the main gap we saw was that when the students ask, the teachers become frustrated or became angry on why do you ask us? Why do you ask such questions? Do you think you know everything? Do you think you are independent? So do it by yourself, and so on problems. So what we did is, in order to make sure students and teachers align, we have to equip teachers with the strategy and integration of life skill course to facilitate, to support, to help the students. So like critical thinking, communication, collaboration, creativity, and so on. On those skills, teachers should be up to date and also equipped. So we integrated this program on the training project, as well as we also foster emotional and social intelligence. Mostly teachers are not connected with their students, right? We scared of our teachers. When we see them, we can't even ask questions, right? They are like gods, and we are like some creatures, or we can see them like they are some other some other part, and we are also from different world. So we cannot like the education when there is different paths. So what we did is to connect students and teachers as individual, not as a learner and teacher. So when they connect as individual, they can support emotionally, they can support on social problems. So in order to create those positive classroom cultures, as for example, when we do projects in Let's Talk About Education, you have seen it. We connect personally, right? As individual, we don't see things from someone who designed the program and someone who is volunteering, right? We connect one-to-one personally. So when we bring that things, the work will be the work quality is high, as well as we can work more from the expected ones or from the normal trend. So by showing empathy, by listening actively, or by providing constructive feedback, teachers can bring or inspire students to grow academically and personally. So we support them to have these kinds of social-emotional training on the program. In addition, we want to build teachers' confidence through continuous support. So as I told you earlier, there is ongoing mentorship and coaching program. There is also peers, mentors, experts who always support them, give them practical advice, give them inspirational things, give them resources, tools to deliver those programs, and so on. So this one is the continuous support is also the innovative way we are bringing to the teachers training. And also we teach them digital literacy, because most of the students are nowadays more technological person, whereas the teachers are more of traditional ones. So they have to be equipped with the digital literacy. And I told you earlier, we will work on empower teachers economically. So while they are doing their full-time job or part-time job in education, if they are passionate about to bring changes or to support students, we give them a supporting like entrepreneurship course or other things to grow their economy through side-by-side things. Like it might be like a YouTube channel to deliver training or writing books or so on. There are a lot of activities like tutoring and so on. So we are trying to empower teachers economically. So this is all about investing on their skills, investing on their confidence and their well-being, to support them economically, to support them in the skills to deliver their quality education and empower them holistically. Yeah, this is what are the innovative methods we use.
These are very innovative, especially the way that you are teaching them skills and not just empowering them through maybe giving them something. Especially learning skills nowadays can take you from, being a 0 to at least a 75%, and that really can change your life from being, from 0%, and now you're much better and you have skills, not only skills, but you can implement them and also learn something from them. Not only that, but you can also get some, money from it as well. So additionally, I want to ask you one question.
Sure.
So we've seen that whenever you are teaching or giving teacher trainings, there's always this new thing coming. And sometimes some people say we are living our cultures back, or where is our cultures? Do you see any cultures involved in this, our heritage, our indigenous knowledge, and how is it shaping our modern education?
Okay, so even if we are maintaining the modern education, we have to go back to our values, our heritage, right? So when we understand our value as an African or as an Ethiopian, it is easy to shape the modern education because students and teachers will connect to their roots. When someone is connecting to their roots, it's easy to prepare them for the future rather than focusing on something we are not familiar with. So what makes them familiar is their roots, right? So that's what we do in From Home to Nation with the Hagar movement and on tertiary educational solutions. So we intentionally integrate our culture, our values, our norms to the learning system. Because when we do this, especially what we don't understand as a generation, this our and your generation is our ancestors, the African wisdom it's timeless. Our ancestors' wisdom is timeless. It can inspire and also guide generation. Even if maintaining that, we can also use the modern progress or the modern things. So, for example, when I tell you what we do on tertiary educational solutions, we bring local context into the education. So my experience at Netsanet, Welaga, and also Bahar Dar with both have similar values as Ethiopian. We have to respect our parents. We have to respect our religion, right? We stand up for someone when he comes to the home. We feed each other. We support each other. So these are the cultures, the common cultures all over the world, right? But when you come to specific regions, from one region to another region, there are some different things or different cultures. So what we understand in the Netsanet or Welaga with, there is a Gada system that is a traditional governance system and also learning system. So we understand that most people are familiar with the Gada system. What is the core thing from that system? So how can we deliver to the students? Which part does it align with our main course? Because the module or the program is similar, but how can we identify that GADA system values and align with our system? So it might be on leadership, it might be on collaboration, and so on. We integrate that thing and deliver for the students, and they were happy, and the impact was very visible. As well as on Bahar Dar, when we moved there, they are more of religious people. Their root is from Orthodox. Most of them are from Orthodox. So we studied the common values, the common culture from Bible verses, from Gadam teaching system, the monastery teaching system. So we integrated to the curriculum and deliver it. When we do that, the students will be very pleased because they know what they are familiar with the system, the culture. So it is easy to understand that. So the first one is understanding the context and integrating into the system is the basic thing as a generation we do. Also, understanding our history, because when you understand your history, you understand your strengths, you understand your challenges. So you only focus on solving those challenges rather than eliminating the strengths and only focusing on the modern technologies. Here as well, we also integrate Adwa victory education on students because as African, we are proud of African, we are proud of Adwa victory, right? So on the Adwa victory, the main issue is they worked in a team. They solve in order to solve the problem. They collaborate, right? They have they were united. They strategized collaboratively in order to fight their enemies. So those collaboration, those shared values bring a victory. So that we instead this generation is also can create an Adwa victory, right? That it is not from fighting or conflict with wars or something like that. So we show that this time Adwa victory is through collaboration, through solving problems that are at hand. So Africa has full of problems, full of opportunities. So what are those opportunities? How can we solve them? How can we collaborate? How can we become critically thinkers? How can we become peace builders? How can we become leaders? How can we work as a volunteers while we were kids, while we were students, so that we can solve the problems? So integrating those threes with the modern problem can, the modern world can also help them to discover that. Highlighting indigenous knowledge and innovation, because modern world also, when we see medical innovations, they go back to the root, right? So integrating those indigenous knowledge and innovation is also a basic thing in order to understand the modern world. Values, promoting those values like respecting family, community. This is a unique value of an African. So promoting those, teaching those, integrating those values into the education system, the modern education system, is a very wise thing to do for the future generation as well as the current generation. Balancing heritage, modern education is the basic thing that we can do for the overall education system in the world as well.
For sure, especially nowadays, a lot of people, once they're modern, they forget their roots, where they came from. And if you don't have your roots, then who are you? That's we have to consider. And especially those roots are what makes us us, I must say, right? Yeah. So Netsanet has one motto, which is, rather than pointing fingers, let's work together. So just like she said before, we need to collaborate. We need to show that we can collaborate and solve our own problems by ourselves. And using this, you can make your vision and your missions come true. How can we make the vision that we have come true? And especially when you are focusing on the future of education in Ethiopia and also Africa, we have some visions that we want to do. We want to have more schools. We want to have more trained teachers and more better facility for students, whether it's labs or whether it's feeding programs or many other programs. We want a vision that is so big. We have a vision that is so big that we don't know if we'll achieve it or not. And yes, we're working on it. And yes, we do have futures. So what do you give us? What advice do you have for us who are currently working on education? And also, what future do you think that we should work on and would also have?
Sure. So as you said earlier, rather than pointing fingers, we are easy to point fingers. When you are pointing fingers, it is only showing one to the other person, right? All the others are towards us. So focusing on what we can do, we can solve different problems. So you are a student, but you're doing what you can for the education system, right? It might be on different sectors, but what we can do is what we have on hand, what I can do for the education system, or what can I bring a change, what can I bring a solution to the table. By focusing this one, we can uh, uh, we can achieve our vision or goal. So the other thing is, as we mentioned earlier, as African, we need to develop our own education system. Our own education system that reflect who we are, our history, our values, our indigenous knowledge, because this is the thing that Europeans and other countries took from us to develop and bring us a new curriculum, a new education system. So rather than waiting from the outside, we can do it from our own. So it's not good. I'm not saying it is not good to copy system. Copying system is also a good strategy. So I'm not against copying systems. It is a good thing. I love the Scandinavian countries' system curriculum that integrates soft skills into the education system. So I'm not against other educational curriculums or systems at all, but integrating those indigenous wisdoms, like the Gana system to the education system, or the religious, the values, the medical things, what we have at hand, what are practical things on Africa, bringing those knowledge into the education is the biggest motivator, and also the main, that should be the main vision as an African. Fostering also critical thinking and problem solvers. All the education that we are learning is like we study, we eat the book, like we take every word from the book, then we vomit, repeating those words, rather than thinking critically. Because when we think, when we start thinking critically, we start seeing solutions, we start solving problems. So integrating those critical thinking and problem solving systems, teaching methodologies into the system, in the overall educational system is a big thing that we need to do. In addition, integrating those soft skill trainings, developing leaders, peace builders is from soft skills, not only the academic or the theoretical aspect of education. So in order to bring one person, for example, if I have to make you a leader, I have to teach you a simple thing, like maybe tying your shoes or dressing, or it might be cleaning your classroom or cleaning at home, or doing home chores or something like that. So we have to make our students leaders, peace builders, who can talk in peace rather than fighting, who don't compare, but rather who collaborate in order to bring a solution. So we have to develop those leaders and peace builders in the education through integrating different technologies, life skill course, and so on. Finally, when I say bringing indigenous knowledge, as I said earlier, it's not about ignoring the modern innovative. The modern innovation is the biggest leading change to the world, right? So we have to make sure we balance the indigenous knowledge with the modern innovation, because when the world is high up and when we are on the ground, we cannot connect, right? As a world, we have to work together. We have to be collaborated. Everything is an exchange, right? We cannot live without America or Europe or Asia. As an African, we have to collaborate. I love being Burkina Faso and so on, what they are doing, bringing indigenous knowledge, trying to work on independently and so on. But what we lack is, if we ignore the other world, we cannot live or we cannot grow, because the modern change also is a bigger factor or a biggest thing for us as human. Since we are mammals, since we are social animals, we have to be collaborative. We have to explore other countries. It is good to know Asian culture is very warm, very rich, right? These are the things that we have to do as and education expertise. In order to achieve our vision, we have to balance.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Education for All podcast. It's been an honor having you, and we truly appreciate your insights. Till next time, goodbye.